on Channel 9, we're hearing from the stepmother of the motorcyclist burned in this explosive confrontation with Osceola County deputies.
First word what he said.
What she only told Channel 9 he remembers that changed his life forever. Next.
Central Florida is getting real about inequality.
From policing reforms, health care, and affordable housing for all.
And Eyewitness News is committed to bringing you these stories.
It's an opportunity for all views to be heard.
Central Florida gets real on Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Going beyond just the headlines. WFTV Tonight at 11.
New on WFTV tonight, even more investigations against a local school board member. We're detailing the accusations and why some say this board member's actions could have devastating consequences for the district.
I'm going to tell that in Spanish. They said, "Papi, la policía me quemó. The police burned me."
Only on WFTV tonight, the family of a biker burned from his neck to his toes in this fireball is talking about their struggle to find out what happened at the gas station. What the biker's stepmother told us happened when she tried to see him at the hospital.
This is WFTV Tonight.
First up tonight, thunderstorms, lightning been rumbling through Orlando, putting a rainy cap on the evening. Good evening. I'm Martha Sagowski.
And I'm Greg Wormuth. Let's get straight over to certified Chief Meteorologist Tom Terry tracking the storms in Severe Weather Center 9.
That's right. Yeah, I got going about 2 hours ago. We had a lot of lightning right along the I-4 corridor. Still cleaning up some heavy downpours. We had lots of 1 to 2 inch rainfall amounts in and around Metro Orlando. That was the big batch of storms on the east side of town that's beginning to break up now. Just some light showers, and we'll be all done through here. Had a good downpour over the Disney area. This is a brand new storm, though, that's still popping up right near Silver Lake and Tavares. This is an area that got some heavy rain earlier tonight. So about another hour and a half or so of this. Then we update more changes to the overall wet season pattern, Greg, that's on the way.
And some major breaking news tonight in Orlando, the night that could change the fortune of a struggling franchise. The Orlando Magic won the NBA Draft Lottery tonight, giving them the first overall pick in this year's NBA Draft. Sports anchor Joe Kepner joins us live in studio. And Joe, if history repeats itself here in Orlando, luck in the lottery can turn a team around.
Well, as you know, Greg, it's the 4th time the Magic have won the NBA Draft Lottery. The other 3 led to some of the best years in franchise history with Shaq and Penny Hardaway and Dwight Howard. So you can understand why this moment means so much to the franchise and its fans.
The first pick in the 2022 NBA Draft goes to the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, just look at that smile on Jamal Mosley's face, the Magic head coach knowing he has the chance to get a potential superstar. The lottery took place in Chicago tonight. I asked Magic President of Basketball Operations Jeff Weltman how they would celebrate. He just said whatever happens in Chicago will stay in Chicago. But he also said they don't plan to trade the pick, so they will hold workouts with as many of the top prospects as possible. That list probably includes Jabari Smith from Auburn, Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga, Paolo Banchero out of Duke. Magic will have until June 23rd to make their decision. That gives fans more than a month to dream about all the possibilities and hopefully a rapid return to the playoffs. Greg, Martha.
All right, Joe, thank you. Volusia County Schools officially has a new superintendent. Tonight, the board approved the contract for Dr. Carmen Balgobin.
Yeah, she used to work for Volusia Schools and is currently a deputy superintendent in Broward County. The board hopes she can start by July 1st. Balgobin will replace Dr. Scott Fritz, who was fired from that post earlier this year. We have breaking news tonight in DeLand, where police are searching a car in a Walgreens parking lot where a woman was found dead inside. Police say the woman appears to have been shot and may have been in that car since Sunday. Of course, we're going to stay in contact with police and ask for more information. We'll have a live update coming up on Channel 9 at 11. A local Black Lives Matter chapter is calling for justice. They want prosecutors to charge the Osceola County deputies involved in a deadly shooting outside a Target. 20-year-old Jaden Baez died and 2 teenagers were injured in last month's shooting. Surveillance video from the store shows deputies trying to box the group in the parking lot and a black Audi driven by Baez attempting to drive off. And that's when deputies opened fire. Investigators say the young men stole pizza and Pokemon cards from the store. Today, activists said deputies went too far.
For both boys to have fingers missing and substantial injuries to their hands lets me know that they are telling the truth and their hands were up. And if their hands were up at the time of this shooting, these officers were not justified in that shooting. This is murder.
The group called for the Department of Justice to be brought in and Sheriff Marcos Lopez to step down. The sheriff responded with a statement today saying he respects the First Amendment right to protest, but he won't comment on the shooting while it's being investigated.
For the first time and only on WFTV, we are hearing from the family of the motorcyclist burned in this explosive confrontation with Osceola County deputies. The ball of fire burned most of his body. His stepmother told our Shannon Butler he remembers every single moment of this night that changed his life forever.
And we now know a shooting early Monday morning on Church Street in downtown Orlando started over a cell phone. Documents we obtained today show Michael Thomas and two juveniles walked up to a man on Church Street and asked if they could use his cell phone. Then there was an argument and shots were fired. The victim is expected to survive. Thomas and the teenagers are all behind bars. Thomas is charged with attempted murder, and all three face burglary charges. The teenagers are set to go before a judge tomorrow at 1:30. Senator Rick Scott of Florida says he doesn't want taxpayers to be on the hook for the state's moves against Disney. We told you last month when state lawmakers voted to end the company's self-governing status. Christopher Heath talked one-on-one with the senator today, and the senator told Chris he's hoping for an outcome that won't hurt taxpayers. We have repeatedly asked the governor's office about its plan for replacing the district so that the $1 billion in bonds don't fall on taxpayers. So far, they have not released any plan.
An Orlando firefighter has earned the title of hero after pulling a woman from a burning car.
Fairly certain that if we were delayed very short amount of time, she would not have made it.
How he gave up a piece of his equipment to help save her life, plus the eye-opening numbers from Congress that show how much worse the pandemic was for working women than men in the same fields.
Every morning, there's so much range. And there are stories that we're so happy to tell you about and we're so excited for. And there are other stories that break our heart and we don't want to report it because the unimaginable happened, the unthinkable happened.
Well, I think that's why this job is so important, because things are constantly changing.
But we got to let you know the headline of the day. We have to say it in such a way to say we're going to get you through this no matter how scary the situation is.
We're getting our viewers the information they need.
Such an incredible story. A woman trapped in this burning car may have been mere seconds away from death had it not been for the quick thinking of an Orlando firefighter.
That firefighter took off his oxygen mask and gave it to her as smoke spread throughout the car. As he told our Jeff Lefkulich today, he said he did what other firefighters would have done to save someone's life. The longest-running theater festival of its kind has returned to Central Florida. The 31st year of Orlando Fringe kicked off tonight with a ribbon cutting by Orlando Mayor Buddy Dyer. This 14-day festival includes hundreds of theatrical performances throughout Lock Haven Park. The event draws thousands of artists from across the world here.
We're so excited to have a full-fledged Fringe this year. 2022 is going to be such a great year. We've got artists coming in from all over the world, and they're all arriving tonight, so there's a lot of energy on the lawn.
And you can see the full lineup for this year's Fringe Festival by going to WFTV.com. And the likelihood is that they saw the thunderstorms or maybe even felt them. I know Baldwin Park, it just absolutely poured.
Yeah, it did.
The kid triplets were not happy. They jumped up on the couch with us. And
how about those dogs?
Those dogs were hiding.
I think I heard hail, too. I'm not sure. I didn't go.
I'll show this to you in the next half hour. We had some little tiny stuff, Peter Marvel size. The kind, if you want to get hail, that's the kind you want to get, not the big stuff. Let me show you some of the rain totals here. It was quite excessive. Altoona, that's northern Lake County, 2.25. Horizon West, which is that big sprawling newly developed area near Winter Garden, west of Orlando at 429. 1.71. Alafay on the east side of Orlando, over an inch, and nearby East Orlando, that is just south of Lake Underhill, over an inch. So we had some good downpours tonight, and everything really kind of came to a head. We had some sea breeze, outflow boundaries. They all started knocking heads, rock 'em, sock 'em. We had some pretty good thunder earlier tonight, but just like that, they lose their energy quickly. They build up fast, and they dissipate very fast. This is very common. We'll have this every day almost for the next 6 months or so. Here's mid-Florida lakes on the north side of Tiberi. Some pretty heavy rain, even some thunder still left over near Ellsworth Junction. So scattered storms late tomorrow, a little bit more widespread Thursday till around sunset, and then Friday afternoon, Friday night, then Saturday, Sunday. It's looking like an early start to our wet season there, Greg.
All right, Tom, thanks. Tonight, we're getting real about the importance of our local Asian American Pacific Islander community. Coming up, we'll explain how this UCF professor is using technology to make music and even more immersive experience. Also, job seekers, listen up. Coming up, we'll check out the huge need for police officers here in Orlando and details on a job fair set for this weekend.
Weather from Severe Weather Center 9 is brought to you by the law offices of Attorney Dan Newland.
The Orlando Police Department needs more officers, and they need them fast.
Yeah, with dozens of openings, the department is holding a job fair Saturday. Q McRae found out, though, OPD isn't the only agency dealing with this issue. Some local homeowners say they were ripped off after an insurance company closed its doors, kept their premiums for defunct policies.
Right, coming up, why many others could get caught in the same problem.
And ahead, in the middle of Asian American and Pacific Islander Month, we're going to introduce you to a local woman who's changing the way we experience music.
Then the effects of the Great Resignation still being felt. Up next, we'll take an in-depth look at an important industry here in Florida that's now in desperate need of some good help.
Every morning, our team makes the most of your time while preparing you for the entire day ahead.
Get straightforward and accurate coverage of the big stories from overnight and live coverage of breaking news.
Channel 9 Eyewitness News this morning, live tomorrow starting at 4:30 a.m.
The Osceola County School District is again asking the governor to weigh in on the fate of one of its board members.
Another investigation found John Arguello harassed the leader of a company that does work with the district because of political disagreements. Nick Pampantonis live outside the district office following a very chaotic board meeting. Nick?
There is a lot of bad blood between John Arguello, other board members, and people who work for this district. Each side right now is accusing the other one of being politically biased and motivated.
More than 4.5 million Americans quit their jobs in March, a consequence of COVID. The Great Resignation is not slowing down. George Estevez joining me from Atlanta right now. Always good to see you, George. And you've actually spent weeks looking at different jobs that few people seem to want to take. Let's see, you were a sanitation engineer 2 weeks ago. You were a server last week. And this week, George, you are focusing on landscaping companies. Tell us more.
Martha, we're focusing on landscaping companies, something that is year-round, right, in so many states, especially in the South, like Florida and where I am here in Atlanta, Georgia, where I've been for 2.5 years. Miss you, by the way. But
all right, and good point here, George. It's not just about plants and all that kind of stuff. It's important so that we can preserve our property and keep them okay during a storm and stuff. Now, George, the map from the Labor Department also showed Florida as being a top employer of landscape workers in the country. Do these companies require experience?
all right, so the thing with that is, yes, some do and some don't. Some will give you, Martha, on-the-job training. Some will send you somewhere. Some will have you do an apprenticeship because these companies really want to grow their workers. They want someone who likes the art of it and the science and physics behind it. And really, honestly, Martha just likes to spend some time outside working with their hands. And it's physical work, but let me tell you, it was a pretty great day, and that crew was awesome.
And you did a pretty good job. All right, George, always a good good to see you. All right, we'll see you next week.
Same here.
Gas prices have hit another all-time high both here in Florida and across the country. The average price for gas in Florida is now $4.50. The national average was lower than Florida, but now it's a little higher at $4.52. Here in the Orlando area, the average for a gallon of regular gas is $4.49. In the Melbourne-Titusville area, it's a little lower at $4.46. Remember, you can always find the cheapest gas near you on WFTV.com.
This Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month, we want to get real about how our AAPI community is shaping Central Florida. Anchor Christian Brewery spoke to a UCF professor. He shows us how she's using technology to redefine the music industry. And you can find more information on the UCF Create After School and Summer programs under the Get Real section of WFTV.com.
Guests visiting the Magic Kingdom will soon be able to get a haircut again with a dash of pixie dust. Harmony Barbershop on Main Street, USA will officially reopen July 31st. You can begin making reservations again on the My Disney Experience app beginning June 28th. The barbershop has been a staple of Magic Kingdom since the park opened and offering My First Haircut experiences for decades.
It was a big night for the Orlando Magic.
Coming up, more on tonight's huge win in tonight's NBA Draft Lottery.
Then some local homeowners say an insurance company closed up and kept premiums for coverage they'll never receive. Next, how you can avoid the same problem and force insurers to refund your money, Tom.
Well, the moisture levels have been rising. A week ago, we were down here in the dry to pleasant category, but tonight, dew points are above 70, so the mugginess is back, and that's going to change our rain pattern. That's coming up.
After one of the larger home insurance carriers in Florida went belly up 2 months ago, some homeowners have been left waiting for thousands in premium refunds.
A couple of local families worried they may not see their money, and they contacted Action 9 consumer investigator Todd Ulrich. He gets answers from the state and explains when homeowners should start getting those checks. All right, Todd. SpaceX planning another Starlink launch from our Space Coast. A Falcon 9 rocket set to blast off at 6:20 tomorrow morning. It'll carry 53 satellites into low Earth orbit. If tomorrow's launch goes as scheduled, bring it to you live over on Channel 9 and on WFTV.com.
It was rocking and rolling
Yeah.
in my house tonight.
Yeah, that's familiar. If you're from Florida or nearby, yeah, this is kind of what we're going to have just about every day.
Show.
A lot of lightning, little tiny hail. You asked for that video. I'll have it for you at 11. I forgot to load it. It's just little tiny
We'll keep you here.
pea-sized hail up in Leesburg. Downtown Orlando, we had some lightning nearby, 75 degrees, light east-northeast wind. It's still very balmy out there. And one thing that I've really noticed when I stepped out tonight, the dew points have climbed to the top of the scale. We were in the bit sticky 65 dew point category earlier, but anything 70 and above, that's muggy, and that means we're kind of priming the low-level moisture to turn into clouds and rain. It's just this rain machine that normally starts in about a week or so. We may be getting it started just a bit earlier, our wet season. Right now, the leftover clouds are breaking up, and we'll see a slight chance for late-day thunderstorm tomorrow, about a 30% overall coverage. Sanford, you've got a hot day back in the low 90s. A rain chance around 20 to 30% for you. Here's your 7-day forecast. The weekend always in view. And our rain chances are going up day by day. Again, not all day, but late Friday and Saturday, even into Sunday, we're going to have some heavy thunderstorms and some locally heavy rainfall amounts. And we've been pretty dry the last 3 weeks or so after a wet late winter, early spring. But we're going to start to see the rain chances stay with us for the next 7 days. We'll be right back.
It took 18 years, but the ping pong balls finally smiled upon the Orlando Magic once again.
We're excited to be able to add another guy who will grow with our team, fit us in every possible way, and, get us to where we want to get, which is to win a championship.
Weltman says they don't plan to trade the top pick, so they will spend the next month auditioning potential draft selections. But based on everything we saw during the NCAA season, I believe Auburn's Jabari Smith is the smart choice. Smith is a 6'10" power forward who might be the best shooter in the draft. Knocked down 42% of his threes in his one and only season in college. But he's also a versatile defender who could be a great fit with the rest of the players on this roster. Now, Gonzaga's Chet Holmgren and Duke's Paolo Banchero are also great options. Magic have until June 23rd to decide. All right, that brings us to college softball, and the 17th ranked UCF Knights hosting a regional for the first time in program history. And if you're hoping to get tickets, you may have waited too long. Knights announced all general admission tickets have been sold out, and it only took about a day to do it. Knights will face Villanova on Friday, with South Dakota State and Michigan also coming to town for the regional. If UCF can find a way to win 3 games, they will advance to the Super Regionals for the first time in program history.
All right.
They're ready.
Trivia, 4 #1 picks. They had Shaq, Chris Webber, which was traded for Penny Hardaway. And again, you heard that they had the big guy, too. Big Dwight.
That's right.
Now, who do they take now? We'll see.
3. Let's hope we can go 4 out of 4 here. Waking up in the morning, it's going to feel like summer. Just no way around it. 74, maybe as high as 78 degrees by 8 o'clock in the morning. Back up to 92, 93. We're going to be even a little bit hotter on Thursday, and our rain chances are going up. Scattered, we had about a 30% rain coverage today, about the same tomorrow, and we are on like Donkey Kong here for Friday and Saturday afternoons and evenings. Scattered storms.
We got Monster Jam this weekend. Is it going to be a mud bowl?
Mudster Jam.
Mudster Jam.
I think someone said that. Yeah, I think it may be right. All right.
Taking the kids.
Got to keep the lightning away.
Yes.
Should tamp that down. We're all right.
I think the mud would make it more fun.
I think so, too.
Cool. All right. Thanks for watching. See you back here tomorrow.
Can I...